November 19th, 2026, has become a focal point for the entire entertainment industry. Because of the scale of this specific release, Take-Two Interactive is in a position to test the limits of the traditional relationship between a publisher and its audience. This line represents Take-Two's initial financial outlook for the 2027 fiscal year. It targets a record of $8 to $8.2 billion in net bookings, with the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6 serving as the primary driver. Some analyst projections suggest the game could generate $5.2 billion in revenue during its first week. For comparison, most major blockbuster releases are represented by these much smaller columns. CEO Strauss Zelnick has described this period as a major inflection point for the company. The goal is to use this cash flow to fund a net cash position and future corporate acquisitions. Take-Two is using this demand to see exactly how much cost and friction players are willing to accept in exchange for the most anticipated property in the medium. That begins with the pricing. The standard edition of the game will launch at $79.99, while the Ultimate Edition is priced at $99.99. By setting an $80 price point for a release of this scale, the company effectively establishes a new floor for the AAA industry that other publishers have been hesitant to claim first. Beyond the price, the physical release contains a second compromise. When players open the box, they will not find a game disc. Instead, they'll find a slip of paper with a digital download code. This code-in-a-box strategy allows the publisher to maintain the $80 premium while removing the costs associated with manufacturing and shipping millions of physical discs. This decision has a direct impact on the secondary market. Without a disc to trade or lend, the used game economy for this title is eliminated, ensuring that every new player must purchase a unique license directly from a retailer. Preservationists argue this shifts the product from an owned asset to a temporary service. Unlike this physical disc, a download code is a single-use key that can be rendered useless if a server is eventually taken offline. The removal of the disc is a calculated effort to move ownership rights away from the consumer and give the publisher total control over the software's lifecycle. That control also dictates where the game can be played. At launch, the title is strictly limited to current-generation consoles, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. This leaves the entire PC gaming community without a way to play the game during its initial release window. This follows a historical pattern for Rockstar. Previous major titles in the series have arrived on PC a year or more after their console debuts. This delay allows for specific console optimization, while also encouraging players to double dip, buying the game once for a console to play at launch and a second time when the PC version finally arrives. In this model, the PC audience functions as a secondary wave of revenue that extends the financial tail of the game long after the initial console launch. Other publishers are already adjusting their internal strategies to account for the gravitational pull of this single release. We can see this on the industry calendar, where rival studios are actively sliding their own major projects into late 2027 to avoid launching in the same window. The $80 price point also provides cover for these competitors. Once the market accepts this new baseline, other publishers can raise prices on their own franchises without taking the initial backlash. As these competing projects move to align with the new price ceiling, the $80 standard becomes the new normal for the entire AAA market. This entire strategy relies on a single factor: the consumer's willingness to agree to these terms at checkout. This launch presents a choice for the player, deciding if the value of a major cultural event is worth accepting a more expensive market and the loss of physical ownership.